Lego games make a lot of money. We're talking about millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And today we're going to go on ahead and run through the very best selling Lego titles of all time. I bet you will be surprised by some of these because I certainly was. I mean, some of them straight up shocked me and I was very, very taken aback by how successful they are. So it is going to be an absolute blast to go through this here today. Of course, don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up button. Huge thank you to you guys for your support. You can also support the channel by becoming a member or grabbing some merch. With that in mind, let's get rocking and rolling. So what I wanted to go on ahead and bring up first and foremost is actually a chart by the lovely folks of Video Game Charts. And if you don't know what they are or what they do, essentially they're a website that tracks a lot of the analytics side of things and the sales side of things for the video game industry. So they compile, let's say, the sales data for the Switch, the Wii U, the Nintendo consoles, the PlayStation consoles. I don't know why I kept giving examples of Nintendo consoles. Xbox, they pretty much track everything and try to culminate all their data and then present it in a nice way. And so here is the chart that they put together for the top 10 in sales for the Lego series. So as we go on ahead and see right off the bat, there's a lot of interesting points here. First and foremost, the fact that number one is 13.33 million copies sold. That's insane. That is like on par with some of the best selling games out there. And that would be Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. Very, very cool to see that. And then the bottom on that top 10 list is actually Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes with 3.44 million copies, which is still incredibly impressive if you really think about it in the big scheme of things. It just shows you just how popular the Lego game franchise really is. Here's some other really interesting details that I noticed on this chart. So first and foremost, let's just run through the entire list. So at 10, we have Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes with 3.44 million copies sold. At 9, we have Lego Pirates of the Caribbean with 4.08 million copies sold. At number 8, this is very surprising, Lego Indiana Jones 2, 4.57 million copies sold. At number 7 is Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. Very, very cool to see that game selling as well as it did because I think it is awesome with 5.5 million copies sold. Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4 sold 7 million copies. So that shows you the staying power and the popularity of Harry Potter. Then at number 5, we see Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy with 7.21 million copies sold. Then we see at number 4, it is Lego Star Wars, the video game. So it is fascinating to think here, if we just aggregate number 5, number 4, and number 1, because essentially they're pretty much the same titles, right? We're talking about 14 plus 13, that's 27 million copies sold of Lego Star Wars games, not including the Clone Wars, not including The Force Awakens, and certainly not including Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. That's insane. So that means that if I had to guess, Lego Star Wars has probably sold in the ballpark of around 50 million copies. That's insane. In number 3, this is probably the single biggest surprise on this list to me. It is Lego Indiana Jones with 11.36 million copies sold. This makes me change my opinion completely on the possibility of a brand new Lego Indiana Jones game being in the works. A lot of people bring that up and say, oh, what if they make another Lego Indiana Jones game? And I'm like, I don't know if Indiana Jones is going to sell well. I don't know if the last one sold well. Boy, oh boy, was I ever wrong. Because not only is Lego Indiana Jones on the list, but Lego Indiana Jones 2 is on the list as well. And if we aggregate the two of them, we're talking about nearly 16 million copies sold of those two titles. That's incredibly impressive. To round out the top 3, we have in number 2 is the Lego Batman with 12.05 million copies sold. And then last but certainly not least, the king of the hill, the king of the mountain, it is without a shadow of a doubt the highest selling Lego title of all time, and that would be Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. Now, as I looked at this chart, I was like, wow, this is a very impressive list. This is very surprising. I mean, obviously, you see just how powerful some of these franchises are. Some big surprises here, of course, in my opinion, the fact that Lego Indiana Jones is the 3rd best-selling game on this list. I was very, very surprised by that. Taken aback by that, the fact that the 2nd Indiana Jones game sold as well as it did. Then I started thinking to myself, where's Lego Marvel? How is this possible? How is it possible that Lego Marvel is not on this list, because if you had to ask me, just based on kind of like the sense that I get from just, for example, the viewership on some of my videos, the Lego Marvel videos did exceptionally well. Like, a lot of people were very, very interested in that game, in those games, because of course, since Lego Marvel Superheroes, we then went on to get Lego Marvel Avengers and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. And so I was looking at this list and I saw a bunch of articles written using this list, and I was like, something is not adding up here. There's no way that Lego Marvel did not sell more than 3 million copies. Like, didn't feel correct to me. Well, I kept on digging, and then I realized that every article that has been written about this list, including this video, would only be accurate to the year of 2013. So yes, if you're going like, really, Blitz? I got bamboozled as well, so I took you along on this ride. But this data is still valid. It's still incredibly fascinating to think Lego Indiana Jones at one point in time was outselling games like Lego Batman 2, like Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. Like, that's insane to me. That's really, really impressive and really cool information here, no matter what. Fortunately, thanks to the lovely folks over at Bricks and Bits, which is a Lego hosted podcast that they held for the history of making Lego games and going through the entire process of 25 years of Lego in video games. And the cool thing is that they actually went ahead and revealed, in no particular order, the top 5 best-selling Lego games over the 25 years of making Lego titles. And here they are. And this list is very, very interesting as well. In number 1, or the first one listed, because there is no particular order, Lego Marvel Superheroes. There it is. I was shocked not to hear that name before, but it is on that list now. Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. That's very interesting, because if we go on ahead and obviously travel back in time and look at the chart that Video Game Charts published, it's interesting because Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 was actually number 6 on that list. It didn't even crack the top 5. That means that since that period of time, the game has gone on to sell more and more units, outselling the other ones on that list. Then we have Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which was the king of that throne, sitting at the top. Then we have a double representation from Lego Batman, with Lego Batman 1 and Lego Batman 2. So again, if we use these two pieces of data together and we try to go on ahead and deduct some information. So first of all, Lego Batman 2 must have kept selling incredibly well because it continued to scale that list. Same thing goes for Lego Harry Potter. Lego Batman and Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga make sense that they are still at the top of that list, because obviously they had very impressive sales figures back then, and they just continued to sell as time has gone on. Now, of course, let's do the interesting exercise of trying to order these. If you had to guess the specific sales unit from these games, let me know down in the comment section below. Who do you think would be number 1? Who do you think would be number 2, 3, 4, and of course, 5, with the 5 names that you currently see on the screen. So let's go on ahead and rank them. Here's my personal prediction. So I think that at number 5, based on what we see here, Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 will be the 5th best-selling Lego game of all time. At number 4, I would place the Lego Batman 2 video game with DC Superheroes. We head to number 3 with Lego Batman, the video game. And I know that this is going to be very surprising to many that I would list Lego Marvel as high as this, but I actually think Lego Marvel Superheroes is going to go on ahead and be in number 2, because I think that the momentum that that game had, the popularity of Marvel at that time, I genuinely think that Lego Marvel Superheroes is most likely at number 2. And the only reason why I'm not putting it at number 1, which obviously means that I'm putting Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga in number 1, is because of the fact that it just has not had as much time to go on ahead and continue to sell. There is some nuance here. If we combine Lego Star Wars as a whole, in terms of if we take Lego Star Wars 1, the original video game, then Lego Star Wars: The Original Trilogy, which is Lego Star Wars 2, and The Complete Saga, and we bundle those as one game since it's 2 pieces and then being put together, I think that genuinely we probably would have a very, very firm lead for that game, way up ahead of the others. Let me know what you guys think of this. Did you enjoy this video? I thought it was a whole lot of fun to go on ahead and put together and see the actual money and the unit sales that these games are obviously generating. Are you surprised by any of these? Like, were you surprised that Lego Indiana Jones is as popular as it is? And this gives you kind of a lot of valid information about what is the possible next Lego title, right? Like, we can use this information to kind of decipher the decision-making process of TT Games, Warner Brothers Discovery, and of course, any other future Lego projects on the basis of, if they look back to these sales figures, they know that there is a lot of customers for things like Lego Indiana Jones, for things like Lego Harry Potter. And so will they go back to that well again? Let me know down in the comment section below what you think. Hopefully, we'll see you guys here on the next one. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, guys.
There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight. Gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind.